One of the common questions we get among our small and mid-sized clients is, are we too small for a big ERP system? So how is it we can answer that question? That's what I want to talk about here today. My name is Eric Kimberling. I'm the CEO of Third Stage Consulting. We're an independent consulting firm that helps clients throughout the world reach their third stage of digital transformation success. And we're working with our small and mid-market clients. One of the biggest questions we get from them is, are we too small for a big ERP system? Or in other words, is an ERP system going to be too complicated for us? Is it going to cost too much? Is it going to be too much risk? Is it going to deliver the business value that we expect? These are among the many questions we get from small and mid-market clients. So what I'd like to do today is give you some considerations and things to think about as you make that ultimate decision on whether or not your organization is too small or big enough for an ERP system. Now, for more information about some of the leading ERP systems in the market and how they compare to one another, I encourage you to download our 2024 Digital Transformation Report. It's a report we publish each year that contains a number of best practices and lessons learned from having helped organizations throughout the world with their ERP implementations. In addition, this report also contains a top 10 ranking from an independent technology agnostic perspective of the top 10 ERP systems in the marketplace. You can read that report by scanning the QR code in front of you or using the links below. The first thing to think about as you're evaluating whether or not your organization is the right size for a new ERP system is the overall cost benefit of a potential ERP system. And here's where it's important to look at the costs, the benefits, and the risks of deploying a new ERP system. So for some organizations, implementing a big ERP system might be cumbersome, it might be too expensive, and it might be too risky. For other organizations, it might be that they're investing heavily in growth and they're focusing heavily on the business value that they'll get out of that investment longer term. So at the end of the day, the really important thing here is to really understand what it is you're trying to accomplish as an organization and where you're headed as an organization. If you're a small mom and pop with incremental growth throughout the years, it may not make sense to invest a ton of money in a new ERP system if you don't have big growth ambitions. However, if you're a high growth company or if you have grand ambitions or you've got private equity investment in the company, it might make more sense to take that time to invest in a new ERP system to help you scale for growth. And then obviously it's also important to look at the business benefits. What kind of business value could you expect to get out of a new ERP system? And this is where you look to things like your top line revenue growth. Could an ERP system help you drive more revenue? Could a new ERP system help you drive cost efficiency and cost effectiveness throughout the organization? Could it allow you and your team to be more effective and help you build a more profitable company longer term? The key here is to really recognize what those potential business benefits are and ultimately quantify them in a realistic and an objective way. Just as an example here, if you're a small or mid-sized organization that's using QuickBooks or some other basic accounting system, you have to look at what is the incremental advantage of implementing a new system to replace that QuickBooks system or that accounting system that you might be using. A lot of clients we work with are using an accounting software like that can't handle inventory management, manufacturing, warehouse management, sales automation, and some of the more robust capabilities that a broader ERP system can handle. So the key here in this example is to quantify what those incremental business value improvements might be relative to the cost that you might invest in a new ERP system that you might upgrade from QuickBooks or some other accounting system. Now, if you're looking for more information in a deeper dive into how to build a business case and a cost-benefit analysis for an ERP system, I encourage you to check out this video right here on my YouTube channel that talks about how to build a business case and define the business benefits for an ERP system. If you're a small or mid-sized organization, one of the benefits of ERP software in general is that there's a lot of options to choose from. You don't necessarily have to go out and buy SAP or Oracle or even Microsoft Dynamics 365 or some of those other big ERP systems that are really expensive and potentially risky for your organization. Instead, you can find smaller ERP software options, smaller solutions that are right-sized for small and mid-sized organizations. So in other words, it may be that you don't want to consider SAP S/4HANA or Oracle Fusion ERP or Microsoft D365. It may be that those ERP options are too large and too complex and too risky without justifiable business value to go along with it. But instead, what you may do is look at some of the other options in the marketplace. You have systems like Oracle NetSuite, that is a cloud-based solution that focuses on small and mid-sized organizations. You also have open source ERP systems such as Odoo or ERP Next or OpenERP that are good options for organizations that are looking for smaller, lower cost, higher value types of systems. And a lot of these systems too that are smaller and right-sized for small and mid-sized organizations are ones that allow you to grow into it as well. So in other words, they can scale with your growth, but they don't require a huge upfront investment necessarily for your ERP investments. So the key here is to recognize what those best options are for small and mid-sized options. And if you're looking for a better feel for what some of the leading ERP contenders are for small and mid-market organizations like yours, check out this video here. It's the top 10 ERP systems for small and mid-sized companies. It's an independent and objective ranking of the top systems that we see work best and get implemented the most often with small and mid-sized organizations. And the beauty of these top 10 systems and other ERP systems that are designed for smaller and mid-sized organizations is that they allow you to not only have a platform to scale for growth, but it gives you an option to incrementally improve your business to where you don't have to change overnight and you don't have to make a massive investment overnight as well. Now, if you're still convinced that ERP systems are too big or too complex or too expensive for your organization, it may be that you look at a different direction, which is the best of breed types of solutions or the point solutions. Those are two interchangeable words that describe a type of technology that isn't all inclusive and all integrated as one system, but instead they're point solutions or focus solutions that do certain individual things within an organization. So for example, instead of deploying one big ERP system that does everything you want it to do for your entire business, you might deploy one technology that handles CRM or customer relationship management. Or you might deploy a system that does HR and human capital management. You might have a solution that focuses on supply chain management or just on manufacturing, warehouse management, et cetera, et cetera. So the list goes on, but the point here is that there's a lot of different options in the marketplace that are not full-blown ERP systems, but instead they're smaller, more focused solutions that are more targeted that might give you an option that's a lower risk and a more incremental way to deliver business value within your organization. And the beauty here, of course, is that you can also start to add on or piece together different systems that address different parts of your business. Of course, the downside risk is that over time you may end up with a proliferation of systems that now have trouble talking to one another. But at this point in your growth cycle, it may make sense to start with point solutions because it's lower risk and potentially higher value. So consider point solutions or best of breed ERP systems as another option that you might consider when you're looking at potential technology to help your business scale for growth. Now, so far in this video, I've talked about smaller ERP systems that cater specifically to small and mid-market companies. I've talked about point solutions and best of breed solutions. And an even less invasive type of option, if none of those sound good to you so far, is the interoperability or business intelligence types of solutions. And these types of solutions are even less invasive than some of the other options I've talked about because they don't require you to necessarily rip out any technology you already have in place. If you're already using QuickBooks or Xero for your financials, for example, you might be able to deploy a system that brings together the data from that system as well as other systems you're using throughout your organization, and it gives you a platform to be able to build from and to grow from. So you can continue to add new technologies and expand your technology stack using an interoperability or a business intelligence tool set to tie together those systems and give you the visibility you need into your overall business operations. Two popular examples of this type of technology are Palantir and Snowflake. Those are two common vendors in the marketplace that are focused on interoperability and business intelligence. They're not meant to replace your back office systems or provide a direct substitute to ERP systems, but instead they're meant to tie together multiple technologies and to play nice in the sandbox with different types of technologies. So consider interoperability types of solutions as one example. Now, if you're looking for more information and details around Palantir, which is a good example of a type of software in this category, check out this video right here. It's an independent review that I did recently of Palantir. It does sort of a deep dive into the strengths and weaknesses of the product. And even if you're not interested in Palantir, it'll give you a sense of the types of technologies that are out there that are alternatives to ERP systems. So I hope this has given you some things to consider and think about as you evaluate potential technology options and ERP software options for your organization. For more information and to get a deeper dive understanding of what some of your options are and what some of the pros and cons of ERP systems are, I encourage you to read our 2024 Digital Transformation Report. It's a report we publish each year that highlights the top 10 rankings of different ERP systems in the marketplace, provides technology agnostic and independent reviews of different systems, as well as best practices to help make your ERP implementation more successful. So I hope you found this information useful and hope you have a great day. Place and a comparison of how it's about to be really redundant. Try that again. Now, if you're looking for more information and you'd like to hear a technology agnostic, potential business benefits are to offset some of the initial cost. Wow.
That really went off the rails.